Hello, Helena. I'm Jana May, and I am your local real estate expert with Exit Magic City Realty. And I am excited to let you know that we have Laura Jospeh today joining us. I have researched her and I found her on the City Council website. So I'll read a little bit about her bio. Laura Jospeh earned her degree in communications from the University of Alabama's College and Information Sciences in 2001. And I'm sure she could give me some tips because I don't know what I'm doing. Laura is also a 2018 graduate of Leadership Shelby County, a 9-month program which invites government, business, civic, and community leaders to take a comprehensive look at Shelby County and what it takes to make it operate, grow, and prosper. We all want that. Near the end of each term, class groups design and complete service projects. Laura's group created a master plan for family connection, a multi-service nonprofit agency that serves at-risk children, families, and youth through their residential youth center, school counseling, and family support groups, community crisis assistance for youth, and drop-in day shelter and homeless outreach. Laura Jospeh currently sits on the Helena City Council in Place 4 and serves as the council's president pro tem. Without further ado, I am delighted to introduce you to Laura Jospeh. Laura, thank you so much for coming on to Business Unusual. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. And first, thank you so much for inviting all of the candidates to come and speak with you. I think it provides a really wonderful opportunity for the citizens to hear from us firsthand. And so I wanted to start off by saying thank you for doing that.
It's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege. And y'all, everyone I've met is just awesome and amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. I'm so glad it's gone well so far. My husband, TJ, and I have lived here in Helena for about 13 years. We've been married for 14, and our daughter, Anna Kate, is a 13-year-old 8th grader and cheerleader at Helena Middle School. John Marshall is 9, and he'll be starting the 4th grade at the intermediate school. And both of them are very much involved in sports. John Marshall plays football and baseball, and Anna Kate cheers. And so, you know, we have a very busy schedule.
Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. What do you do for a living? Because you've got that communications degree.
Yes, I'm the director of marketing at Central State Bank. I started with them back in December and really love it. It's a wonderful place to work, a wonderful bank, and great, great people.
Awesome, awesome. And what do you like to, I say awesome too much. What do you like to do for fun?
For fun, I like to read and cook and be involved doing stuff. You know, kind of get your hands dirty kind of stuff. Anna Kate and I have volunteered a lot with the beautification board and, you know, different areas. She comes to council meetings with me sometimes because we just enjoy being around our community and being helpful and learning things. But yeah, that's what I like.
And that does sound like fun. There's a lot of fun in Helena. I personally think so. So what are your dreams for the future?
Well, you know, Helena's growing so much and it's such a great place to live. We've still got that small town atmosphere, but you know, even as we add more people, we're just growing that community. And growing the space in our hearts for new residents. I see Helena opening its arms and embracing change and making the best of the opportunities that we have before us, especially in economic development and tourism. I would really like to see, some action, I guess, in those areas. And I think we've got some cool stuff coming up.
Yes, and we've had some cool stuff. That what keeps us a hometown community, I think, is because of the events, because of the beautification board, the Helena festivals, the Helena market days. I mean, it's just keeps it hometown. Doesn't matter how many people are here. That's my
Right.
personal opinion.
And our events and the things that we have, what most people don't understand is that those are run by volunteers. They're not city events. They're run by independent boards or 501c3 organizations. They're run by the citizens of Helena. And, that's why it's so important, I think, that people really get hands-on involved in the community to make sure that these events that we love and appreciate continue to happen year after year.
Yes. Yes. I want them to keep happening. Every time that you think they're going to fall, somebody sweeps in or swoops in and rescues it.
That's
So
right.
thank you. Thank you. The reason why I do this is because I love Helena. I've never had a hometown before. And I was a military brat and had parents with wanderlust. So I knew everywhere I lived was temporary. And it was when I moved to Helena, I knew I was home, and this was my hometown. I'm never going to leave. And there's so many of us like this, and I care about my community. I want it to stay. And that's why we have these great people sitting on city council, and we have great community members who volunteer their time. I need to do more. So,
Well, I mean, for me, that gives people an opportunity to really see how things work, see what it takes to pull off a festival or the farmers market or spring planting days or, any of those kinds of things, because it does take effort. And, we really need the involvement of everybody in the community. We're glad you come, but come in and bring your hands beforehand too,
yes, yes.
She's like scratching up the door.
Okay.
Can you hear her?
You can go get her.
Okay, let me let her in real quick because she's just going to keep going and then she barks.
We took a little break to take care of a fur baby. What's your fur baby's name?
We've got two, Molly and Griffin. They're both rescues from 2x2.
Oh, thank you, thank you. 2x2, I'm coming after you next. I want to talk to you. And I want the world to know about you. Laura, you are an active Helena community member. You are the vice chair of Helena's Buck Creek Festival, city council liaison with Helena Library and Helena Beautification Board, and the secretary for the Helena Library Foundation. Dan, the library man. I hope you're watching. Wow. Why do you do it?
I do it because I love Helena. I love the things that make us unique and special. I'm so glad to be involved with the library because, from a young age, I've really had a love of reading and learning, and I'm happy to support our city's library that helps, other kids like I was develop a love of reading at a young age, and also, be there for those of us who like to come back in adulthood. And I love being able to be involved with the beautification board because I love the spring planting days and even the clean out days where we go at the crack of 8 in the morning on a Saturday and weed for 4 hours. We're dirty and stinky and all that stuff, but you know what? I know I can feel it. I've got dirt under my fingernails and I'm doing something important to help my city. And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to be helpful that way.
Yeah, it is.
Well, when the original Buck Creek Festival Committee retired, It was
And they
just
did
super.
a fabulous job.
They did a
Fabulous.
great job, and but I also understand, they've been doing a great job for like almost 20 years. That's a long time, and I understand them saying, okay, it's time for us to step back. And I was just so glad to be able to see, that tradition, that great festival continue here in Helena, because it is our signature annual festival. Everybody knows about it. And that's something that we really just couldn't let go of.
I send out invitations to people all over Birmingham metro area to come to the Buck Creek Festival, and they do, and they love it. Like I am
Yeah,
from Gardendale, Leeds, Mountain Brook, Vestavia, all over.
exactly. I mean, it's a great time in the park. We've got
It is.
vendors and music and stuff for the kids to do, and it's
Ducks.
ducks,
Yeah.
lots of ducks,
Love
lots of
the
ducks.
ducks.
But
Never.
yeah, come out to Helena Buck Creek Festival and have a great time in the park.
Exactly. And a beautiful park it is. Want to talk a bit more about Helena Library and your involvement with the library?
Well, I started on Helena's library board 8 years ago, and I served on the board for 4 years. And then when I was elected to my first term on city council, I actually stepped off the board and became the city council liaison. I could have stayed on, but I wanted to give another Helena citizen the opportunity to serve their community. And so I decided to take on a liaison role instead of board member role to open that spot up for someone who wanted to get involved.
And I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. I mean, just so much involvement, and it is a passion that y'all have. So thank you. Thank you. Um, you are currently on the Helena City Council in place 4, and you're running for re-election. Would you,
I am.
yes. Would you like to talk about your platform?
Sure. So I think some of the biggest issues that are facing Helena right now, probably one of the biggest is planning. Um, we know that growth is inevitable, and it's also imperative for any city to survive. So we've got the comprehensive plan that's due to be revised in 2021, which is a great opportunity for city leaders and anybody that lives in the city of Helena to come together and talk about what we want our future to look like. And to me, it's really important to get that citizen input, because we can say what we think Helena needs all day long, but we're very, very small compared to the number of people who live here. That's a lot of people, who are stakeholders in the future of our city. And we need to hear from them as we discern where the city is going to go in the future. Personally, I'd like to expand the comprehensive plan to also go beyond the city limits and include areas that may perhaps be annexed in the future, or areas that adjoin the city limits that are currently in Shelby County, just so we can kind of have an idea of, if we do annex them, if they ask to become a part of the city of Helena, what would that area look like? And, what would we do with it? And I feel like that will give us a very valuable tool to be able to plan for challenges in the present and also in the future. And my experience, I think, has really equipped me well to be able to be helpful in that area. I went to the Yorktown, Alabama workshop, and it focused on community and economic development. And a lot of the things that they talked about were building on the things that make Helena unique and viable, and solving problems in the context of a bigger idea. Remembering our heritage and using that as a foundation for growth, and inspiring our youth to stay or to come home and be a part of the community after they graduate high school. I think that's very important. And I've also, like, from the municipal side, taken a lot of training with the Alabama League of Municipalities specifically in zoning, annexation, and de-annexation. So I feel like, with this level of training in municipal planning and community development, that really kind of sets me apart and would make me an asset on the city council.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, as we know, Helena schools are busted at the seams. And, we've got traffic issues during peak rush hour times. Commuter traffic has steered people away from moving here, and that's genuinely a shame. And both of those issues, unfortunately, are outside of the scope of what the city can do because, our schools are not Helena schools. They are Shelby County schools, and our roads primarily are county and state roads. So what we can do, however, is, talk to the stakeholders, talk to the school board, talk to the superintendent, our county commissioner, our legislative delegation, and say, hey, have you been to Helena lately? You should come check this out, and show them, what we're facing.
Which is not that horrible. I mean, we got Hillsborough. That really alleviates a lot. So.
It does, but I also used to have to travel to a northern section of Birmingham for work every day, and trying to get out and come back in was kind of the pits.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but living in Helena, we're a very patient people because we have to be. With trains, with a lot of things, we are a very patient community.
Well, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you're home, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And one of the good things I think too is that I've got a great relationship with our school board and our county commission and our legislative delegation. I know.
I love educators.
Yeah, I know many of them personally, and I'm super excited to be able to, call them personal friends. So what I'm wanting to do, and in the future, as we do the future planning that I talked about earlier, I want to get them personally involved. I want to invite them to the meetings early, early.
Like 8 a.m. early?
Well, no, early in the planning process.
Oh, okay.
So that, they have a seat at the table and they can talk with us about what they're prepared to do. They can hear firsthand, not just from the city council and mayor, but they can hear from people who live here and, their kids go to school here or they commute for work. And hopefully, because of those relationships, we'll be able to collaborate and be more proactive regarding the city's needs. And I really think that I could help to make that happen. One of the things that I would really like to see in Helena's future is for us to build a new library building. I feel like that's really important because we've been adding police officers and the police department's busting at the seams too. And they don't have anywhere to go. So the plan would be to move the police department into the existing library building and build a new structure to house the Jane B. Holmes Public Library. The city council, before I was elected, had designated an area of city-owned property on Colmont Road for a new library building, and I feel like we need to make that happen. My vision,
schools and yeah,
absolutely, and enhancing the connectivity with the middle and high schools. And that road comes out at Fieldstone right there. And if we could connect it to the back of the high school, then they would have connectivity to the Hillsborough Trail. And it would I think it would be a great thing.
Yes. It would be an awesome thing.
Yeah. And if we could make it, now this is just me big time dreaming, but if we could make it like a cultural arts center and have the library as well as like a small theater, for dance recitals, concerts, or things like that. Maybe an art gallery or a sculpture garden. I think that would be amazing. And we could also, in with the library, put in some rentable workspaces for people who may need to come in for a meeting or just want to not work from home for a couple days a week. and maker spaces to give people the opportunity to create and play with things that they may not be able to afford or would have the room for at home. You know, I feel like those are things that would really help enhance our community and be really useful for the citizens here.
Thank you. I love your dreams. I love it. And I would love to see that turn into fruition. And I was just thinking about, you know, there's students who may not have access to technology. And if they're close to school, that would be perfect. I was going to say awesome. That would be awesome for them to be able to provide, because you know there's lots of job losses right now, and you don't know what families are going through, but they live in Helena and we'll take care of you. Sorry, I'll cut.
You know, and that's what we want to do. You know, I would love to see a new fire station and or police outpost around the Highway 93, Highway 13 area. It would help those guys with safety and response times. And, you know, we need to get some more firemen out there. I'd like for us.
It's grown over there.
It's grown so much. And I feel like we've got the fire station on South Shades Crest, but I would love to have one on 13 that would kind of be in the middle between the South Shades Crest station and the one that's next to Old Cahaba, because we are kind of spread out a little bit. And it would provide another, you know, level of safety, I think, for folks that are living in that corridor. And I would also like to talk about, you know, creating an entertainment district for Old Town. We're actually going to start talking about that at the work session on Monday. It's very exciting. We're working to meet all of the requirements for an entertainment district. But that's a designation that doesn't necessarily come from the city. It comes from the ABC board. Individual licensees within a designated geographic area can apply with them for that entertainment district designation. But I would love for Old Town to become an area in Helena where creativity is alive. I would love to have public art spaces and murals and neat places to go with your friends and take pictures and say, hey, I was in Helena, and take a picture, and just really, really enjoy that area. Now, I do know that one thing that we'd have to look at would be to do something about the parking situation in Old Town. Unfortunately, it's a wonderful place to be and a terrible place to park a lot of times if there's big events going on.
But the good thing about, you know, the parking situation in Old Town, I get my steps in, because I normally park at the Helena First Baptist.
Oh yeah,
walk down.
Yeah,
so there's always one of Helena's finest letting us cross the street, guiding us along.
And they're so nice and so helpful.
So is there anything else to your platform you'd like to add?
I think that's it. I mean, everything else people could find on my website, and, you know, there's a contact form down there at the bottom, and I've got my numbers and all that kind of good stuff listed. So, you know, if they have any questions, come talk to me.
Yeah, and so approachable. All of you have been so approachable. So August 25th is just around the corner. If you haven't registered to vote, there will be information following this video about how to register to vote, and get out there and vote. It's your right. And yeah,
absolutely, get out and vote August the 25th, and re-elect Laura Joseph to Helena City Council, place 4.
So Laura, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and it's been an honor and a pleasure talking to you. And Helena, I love you. Be safe, be healthy, and be unusual. Bye, Helena.